Okay, welcome to Saturday morning, the Universal Show. As I said, it's going to be an action-packed one this morning. Got a couple of guests in the building. And I tell you what, I've definitely been looking forward to this one because, like, Wretch tipped me off late last year. He said, Special, watch out for him.
Yeah.
Part of the movement. He's in the building.
Yo.
Can you introduce yourself this morning, please?
Yes, it's myself, George the Poet.
George the Poet. Nice to have you on board, brother.
Good to be on board. Yeah,
man.
good.
You're good? You're good? Man. Okay, so your tune's been rotating heavily on all the stations, underground and the legal stations, the Cat D joint. A lot of people are feeling it, but we do have a lot of people that might not be familiar about your history and yourself and your rise to where you are today. So we're going to strip it all down this morning, yeah?
All right, yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, George the Poet. How did it all start? Give us a little insight how it all started for you.
Well, when I was young, 14 to 15, like I used to spit and I felt like I'm not really connecting, so I started just doing my stuff a cappella. By the time I got to university, people started to really catch on to it. So over the past 4 years, I just built up.
Wow.
There we are.
Okay. So what was the initial thing when you said to yourself, I want to do poetry as opposed to actually rap form?
It was a gradual process just from logical decisions. I just knew that when I was on the stage and I'm an unknown rapper, the audience ain't listening to me. But that's the most important thing to me. Like, if I'm here talking in your face, I would rather that you leave with an understanding of where man's coming from. So over time, I just thought, all right, a cappella, do my stuff, no music. And I realised that if I talk it a little more and I change the style a little more, then it becomes poetry and it works better.
Yeah. Now you saying you felt like if you probably did rap, people wouldn't probably listen to you. Why was that? Because there's is it oversaturated at the moment?
There's bare rappers and there's certain things, certain practices that are inherent in rap music that just are a little bit. I ain't got time for them, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have time to just make a party tune and then hope that people are feeling it enough to hear my conscious. I'd rather just be recognized for talking to things all the time.
Wow. So okay, so who are you inspired by, like where poetry is concerned? Do you study particular poets?
My favorite poets are rappers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So Nas, Tupac. Those are my favorite poets.
Okay. What was it about them that inspired you?
The storytelling, the honesty. You know what I'm saying? The connection, so you can understand how the art is so intrinsically tied with the life.
Yeah. Now you come across as a very spiritual person.
Boy, yeah.
You're a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I don't find that a lot today, like with a lot of artists. I think, as you know, you mentioned, like, you know, there's so many things that they prefer to talk about, like the materialistic side of things. But you seem very spiritual. Any reason behind your spiritual awareness?
Well, I think, man, if you go through things, you understand that you alone can't really achieve anything. You need support that might not always be visible. You need to, draw power from a higher source. And I think a lot of these rappers do as well. But you know, like what a lot of people don't understand is that rap music is a move. It's a way out for a lot of these youths. You know what I'm saying? So they'll do it in the way that they know. They don't mean to be negative or to make a negative contribution.
Yeah. Do you ever feel at sometimes like, you know, you're doing this thing and you're kind of like in a lane by yourself? Are you worried about like mainstream success, where it's gonna go, or are you just doing it solely for the love of music? Where are you looking to take it?
I think it's a beautiful, like, first of all, obviously I love music and I love advancing the music that is important to me. Secondly, I think it's a great vehicle for change, so I embrace all of it.
What are you trying to change? Like, if you said to yourself there's something that you could change about the music industry in the country, I'm sure, being an observer, you've seen a lot of things. You're saying, you know what? This is what I want to make sound different. This is what I want people to get from me.
I want there to be a closer link between music and society. So if I'm talking stuff, then you should feel like I support this guy's music, I'll support his movement, and any other artist that you feel the same about, I want there to be a movement to go alongside the music. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to man just standing here saying a couple of things and then just busting out with the money.
Yeah. If you've just logged on this morning, we have George the Poet in the building. I'll tell you what, I'm liking his vibe this morning. It's too early for you this morning.
Nah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. Favorite artists is George. I know you mentioned people that you're inspired by, like in rap. You mentioned Tupac and Nas. Who are your favorite artists in the UK? Like where hip hop and rap is concerned?
We're hip hop. All right, that's a good question. So I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Wiley. I have to respect Wiley. Same Skepta, Gets as well. I think, yeah, man. Like the scene has been so varied. Like there's I have favorites for different reasons, and like different people do different things. But yeah, man, we got a lot of talent out here.
Yeah. Now recently, there's been this crazy fiasco all over the internet about when Kanye brought out all the artists at the Brit Awards.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there was kind of like mixed views and reactions about whether they thought that it was a good thing Kanye bringing them all out, or is it that, you know what, these artists just solely need to be working harder to get at the forefront, or we don't need the Americans to validate what they're actually doing in the UK.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think in life there's talkers and there's doers, innit? At the end of the day, that was a stage full of doers. No one ain't out there on that stage for the man. Them, do you get me? Like, who's gonna do their job? No one. No one's been working as hard at music as they have been doing, Kanye included. So first of all, I recognise that it is doers, and the talkers best for know their self-car. They ain't doing the same. Yeah. But secondly, I understand that people feel like the way that it is delivered could be better. But what people also need to know is that those guys were part of Kanye's not private show, but yeah, he did a show, you know, a little while later, and them and they were invited, and they did have the microphone this time. So sometimes not everything is what it seems, and you have to put everything in context as well. It's not easy out here for a lot of the young black artists, I'll be real.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
So when they get an opportunity, work with the man the minute. Like, if you feel like it could be done differently, come with a solution for you, open your mouth about the problem.
And with that said, that is harder for a lot of black artists in the UK.
100.
How do we break down the barriers?
You break down the barriers by fixing society, which goes back to
So you
what
think
you asked me.
society's got a lot to play within, like, holding black artists back?
I think society has a long way to go in addressing racism.
Right.
Okay, now you asked me what I think the change I want to happen. I want everyone's music to be linked to an actual movement in the world, because the reason being, the music can only be a consequence of society. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we live in England, we've got English accents. Do you get me? That means we've got English behaviours. That means our music industry will be organised according to the logic of English life. Now, if in English life the only time a black person gets a look on TV is when they're committing crime or they're making some sort of joke out of themselves, how do you expect these black people to be taken seriously in the music industry? It's just organisation of society.
Yo, can I bust a shot this morning? Let me bust a shot this morning.
God, do it for them.
No, that gun was too small. We're not promoting guns or anything, yeah? Because you know, he's promoting guns. I'm not. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, I love that. No, listen, very inspiring this morning. How old are you, by the way?
24.
24, man. Love the maturity, you know.
Thank you.
Love it. Seriously. So we spoke about the whole Kanye situation. Tell us about you now as an artist, you the vibe when you're sitting down and writing. What's the best kind of vibe for George when he's writing?
It's best that I'm on my own.
Mm-hmm.
What contributes to the writing is connection with my people. So I might have to catch up with them and them for a good few hours, or some of my sisterins just bring me down on life. We have them discussions, and that's where the writing comes from. But I need to be on my own when I write.
Yeah. Is there any things like, that's happened recently in current affairs or events that you're saying, you know what, that's definitely going to put pen to paper? Just current things that's happened?
Just the elections, the way the discussion around the elections is coming up. People are asking me, everyone hits me up and they ask me, can you talk about the youth or about black people? I'm like, yo, man's a Cambridge graduate. I'm a social scientist out here. Or am I still having to put myself in the box of youth or black? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to go on.
What would you like to see happen for youth? Because I noticed that you speak specifically about youth. What is it you'd like to have to see? What is it that you'd like to see the youth have in society? Because you speak about the oppression and that them being held back. What is it that you'd like them to see?
I want them to see that this is such a rich country in terms of its resources and relations.
Right. And
those resources and relationships are available to you. I want you to see that, and I want you to materialize that in such a way that when you leave school or you transition into adulthood, you're doing something that benefits you and your people, that is good, right? Because there's a lot going on out here, and you just need to work yourself into the best positions.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, do you ever worry sometimes how, like, you know, media may perceive the work that you're doing because you're coming from such a conscious angle?
No, because it's based on, like, okay, you have to understand how it works. Like, people aren't against consciousness. It's just that, like I said, I'm a social scientist. I've been training for this for 8 years. So it is gonna come out, but when it comes out, I make sure that it is it's based on empirical evidence. I'm not just running my mouth. And if it comes out in my poetry, I take care to deliver it in a way that is digestible, is palatable. I think people are respecting that still.
No, love it, definitely love it. So let's talk about this single that's doing the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
We're loving it, man. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't had a chance to play it a lot because I've been in Jamaica.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah. I'm not gonna try and pretend that it's the truth, innit? Yeah. I've been away for a month. I don't want to make out I've been playing it every week. Played it a few times, but the tune goes hard.
Thank you.
I love it. What was the concept about this tune for those who haven't heard it? But we're definitely gonna get it on this morning. So what's the concept behind Cat D? Explain that to me.
Right. Well, Cat D compares people to Category D cars. Category D cars are cars which have been in a severe accident and have had to be written off, but they've had work done to repair them. And it might, you know, like the crash has consequences in it. So sometimes people are like that as well. You might see behaviours in them that are the result of something bad that happened to them a long time ago.
Right, okay. Forthcoming album.
Yeah, that's gonna be in the second half of this year. And there's a lot more musical stuff. I ain't started musically, you get me? I ain't even started. So there's more to get into.
Any ideas of collaborations?
Not at this point. But yeah, if it comes, it comes.
And what would we be looking for, sound-wise?
Sound-wise, I'm just taking it back to where I'm from.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you're from where? 'Cause we don't know where you're from yet, you know.
Where
are you from?
I'm from all sorts of. I'm from Northwest London. Yeah,
that's right. I want to know them things. Are you from Northwest London?
Yeah.
Your background is what? What's your background?
Ethnically, I'm from Uganda.
Mm-hmm. All right, original man.
Roots.
Okay. How your family perceiving to like what you're doing? How they
cool,
feeling?
Man, because I give them a fair representation.
Yeah.
I don't disrespect anything. I don't bring no shame on the family, so we're cool.
Okay. We have George the Poet in the building. I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking to him this morning, you know.
Likewise, my
It's
brother.
It's crazy. Next single after this one, the Cat D, what are we looking out for?
I've got a song called Search Party, and that's coming.
And what's that going to be about?
Soon. Well, I've got a new book out called Search Party as well, and in the song I'm just elaborating on that. You get me? Everything that I'm talking about, how we move forward.
Got a book coming as well.
I got the book dropped. It's out already. Search Party in all bookstores.
Oh wow, amazing! You see what I'm saying, Shannon? It's been a blessing this morning. Love talking to you, man. Listen, George, it's been a pleasure. Could you give the listeners some information where they can correspond with you, please?
Yeah,
Social
man.
networks.
I'm all there. Just George the Poet. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, whatever. Shout me.
Just George the Poet straight.
Instagram too.
Instagram too. Okay. Could you introduce your single this morning, please?
Myself, George the Poet. This is my brand new tune, Cat D.